A week ago, few would have predicted the independent candidate Andrew Wilkie would get over the line in the southern electorate of Denison. But a week's a long time in politics. And tonight he finds himself putting together an ever-growing wish list to take to his upcoming meetings with Gillard and Tony Abbott. Mr Wilkie first came into the public gaze as an intelligence analyst who blew the whistle over the question of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Already he's ruffling feathers. His call for immediate financial assistance for forestry contractors has raised the ire of the Greens, and he says he won't accept inaction on poker machine reforms. Fiona Breen spoke to the potential kingmaker about his other political priorities.
Are you getting to know Tony Abbott and Julia Gillard?
A little. I've spoken with Julia Gillard once and to Tony Abbott once. I'm meeting Julia Gillard in Melbourne on Saturday, Mr Abbott in Canberra on Monday, and for some reason Julia Gillard keeps ringing my wife. As she has actually got to know Julia Gillard quite well, I understand.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, it's just purely a case of access. She's got more of my mobile phones than I have, but it is a rather funny aspect when your wife turns to you and says, "Oh, that was Julia Gillard on the phone." But I'm not taking sides and showing a favouritism there for Julia Gillard, but it is one of the funny little things of this extraordinary situation which my wife Kate and I find ourselves in now.
How do you get on with them?
I've never met either of them personally that I can recall. I have respect for both of them. I think they are both very competent politicians. I think they both believe strongly that they're doing the right thing within their own personal framework. Obviously, there are policies which they represent and advocate for, both of them. Some of which are good policies, which I support, some of which are bad policies, which I don't support and will never support.
You were heavily criticised by the Howard government for speaking out about Iraq. How can you then work with Tony Abbott?
The Liberal Party, or the coalition government, back in 2003 attacked me very strongly. And I was criticised by the Prime Minister personally. His staff spread disinformation around the media about me. Members of the House of Representatives vilified me most strongly, as did coalition senators. But although that's still to this day very disappointing, there's something much more important than how I feel about being vilified years ago, and that's my preoccupation now with the national interest, with the public interest. It would be most irresponsible of me to let those feelings get in the way of making the right decision for the people of Denison and for the people of Australia.
What does your decision to become a whistleblower and to go through with that tell us about you as a person?
Well, I hope people take from that that I have I believe, a good sense of right and wrong, and that when one is witness to wrongs, one must act, and act decisively.
How do you get on with the independents?
I'm a little uncomfortable with the way they are acting apparently as a bloc. One of them, in the last couple of days, has referred to them being a bloc, although more recently another one of them has denied it's a bloc, but it looks like a bloc. They've gone to the Prime Minister and the opposition leader with the same set of issues to raise with them. Now, that's their business, but it's not something I want to do. I want to keep that at arm's length. I am genuinely independent, and I will go to the Prime Minister on Saturday and the opposition leader on Monday with my own set of issues to raise with them, some of which may overlap with the other independents, some I'm sure won't. But I think that, I know that in my situation, personally, one of the reasons I achieved such a remarkable result is that I am a genuine independent, and I know that there would be many voters in Denison who would be mightily concerned if I started to team up with other people. You get 2 or 3 independents, 4 independents acting together. Well, that to me is a political party, and that's not why people voted for me.
What are your priorities? What are you looking at from Tony Abbott or Julia Gillard?
Well, if I could talk big picture first, and who will I support? I will support whichever party I believe will deliver stable, competent and ethical government. And at the moment, I don't have a lot of confidence in either the Labor Party or the Coalition. In essence, I'm unimpressed with both of them. And I need to be convinced over the next week or so by one of them that they can deliver that stable, competent, ethical government, or in fact I won't support any of them. You know, that is my third option. I can support Labor, I can support the coalition, or I can support neither. Allow the other 149 members to form the government, and I'll sit off to the side and I'll vote for and against legislation on its merits and be the independents independent.
What's your position on things like NBN, the hospital, and other priorities that you might have?
I'm a strong believer in the national broadband network as advocated and being built by the Labor Party. On that particular issue, I favour the Labor Party's position. But turning it around, I noticed that the coalition has promised, I think, a better mental health policy at the election compared with Labor. So, you know, I'm not favouring one or the other. And at the end of the day, we need to look for the best policies. And maybe by having this balance of power situation, you know, we can do that. You know, we can do a better job of looking for the best policies from all the political parties and advocating them and pushing for them.
What about the Royal Hobart Hospital?
Without going into the detail of what I'm going to discuss with the Prime Minister on Saturday and the Opposition Leader on Monday, I can't go into all the detail at this point in time because I haven't worked it all out. I'm still doing my consultations. I'm still developing, you know, a list of all the issues and concerns and things I need to take to those leaders. But I can say at this early stage that the Royal Hobart Hospital will be on that list.
Have you had briefings with the state government this week about some of these issues?
Yes, I'm pleased to say David Bartlett contacted me personally and offered to make available some of his senior advisors to brief me.
So is he helping you get more money out of the Commonwealth?
Well, effectively, yes, the Labor government will be helping Andrew Wilkie to try and get more money for Tasmania. But, you know, David Bartlett and Andrew Wilkie, we're Tasmanians. You know, I think with something like this, you know, it may well help David Bartlett politically, the fact that things are going to start happening. But I think the people of Denison and Tasmania will be smart enough to know, you know, who's been involved in trying to get these sorts of outcomes. So I don't care who gets the credit. I just want to get these outcomes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.